Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome. I hope you are doing well. Good evening. Good evening. Laureen from Vancouver back again. I love it. And you're here for the Raising Healthy Kids workshop. That's so cool. Thank you. Thank you for being here. All these workshops are good. Us adults are going to get things that we need out of the even Raising Healthy Kids. It's like raising healthy people workshop, right? So thank you for being here. And if everybody will say hello so I can be sure that you can hear me and say hello like Laureen did in the comments. There should be a chat below. Love to hear you, know who's listening and where you're listening from. We always have people from across the country here. And tonight is kind of appropriate doing the Raising Healthy Kids workshop because we just got back to school. In fact, it's August 28th at the time that we're doing this. And awesome, thanks, Lorraine. And so Cyfair, this is our district. We just started back to school today, which was kind of late, but we our kiddos are getting off to school, and we want to keep them healthy. We want less sick days, right? So I'm going to go ahead and start and share my screen here, and then, like I said, there's a chat. Say hello, and feel free to ask questions as we go through this. But I'm not going to keep you on long tonight. Just want to get to the point and talk about raising healthier kids, what every parent needs to know. Now, if you've seen our documentary, A Better Way, which is an award-winning documentary now, we placed and won several awards in different film festivals for this documentary. I'm going to share a link here that should pop up on your screen, big green button that says click to visit our website if you'd like to watch the movie. Hey, Candace. Candace is listening from Atlanta. Candace is a chiropractic student over there. Thank you so much for being on tonight. I appreciate it. And yep, so you should see that button there. Feel free if you want to watch the movie A Better Way, or if you want to schedule an appointment with our office. We're in Northwest Houston, Texas. We'd love to have you do that as well. But here are the brutal facts. You know which nation spends more money on healthcare than any other nation in the world? That's the United States. We take 75% of all the prescription drugs in the world, and we take up only 5% of the population of the entire world. Doesn't make sense. And we are by far not the healthiest. In fact, where does the US rank in healthiest nations? According to one of the studies, there's been several studies, we rank 38 out of 40 in healthiest people in our nation. So if we spend most money on drugs, then if drugs made you healthier, we would be the healthiest. And in fact, they don't. I want to share with you some of, especially our kids, since this is a Raising Healthy Kids workshop. If any of you have ever heard of the Annie E. Casey Foundation Kids Count data profile, this is extensive research that's done every year in all the states in the United States, and they rank child well-being. They rank it in 4 different areas: economic, education, health, family, and community. And can you guess where Texas ranks? Now, I would have thought Texas would have been pretty high up on the healthy kids, ranking. But in fact, and of course, this is not just health, this is other economic areas as well. But we rank 45th out of all the United States. We rank overall 45th for our children. And I don't know about you, but that's just not acceptable. To me, I want my kids to be healthier than that. According to several different studies, the percentage of U.S. children with less than optimal health, they say, is 16%. I would argue that it's way more than that. In fact, even the Children's Health Organization said that 54% of children in the United States have at least one degenerative condition, so one chronic health condition. 54% of children, that's crazy. Experts have concluded that medical care and genes actually play a relatively minor role compared with the influence of physical and social conditions in which the child grows up in. Okay, so higher level of parents' education and healthier behavior by the parents actually influence children's health more than medical care and genes. And look, I'm telling you, if you can't tell already by our presentation, what I'm going to be sharing with you tonight about how to raise healthy kids is going to be against the grain of mainstream, if you will, to say it nicely. Look, if you want what everyone else has, if you want to be, and if you live in Texas with me and you want your kid to be ranked 45th in health in all the nation, then keep doing the same things. But if you want something different, if you want to be healthier than the masses, then you've got to do something different. And I will show you what I believe is a better way to raise healthier kids tonight in this workshop. We're going to cover different mindset strategies, different ways to look at the health of our children. So number one, your kids are designed to be healthy. We need to realize this first. Your kid was not born to be sick. They are born to express health. I mean, just talking about genetics, talking about genes. We have 20 to 25,000 genes, and they are influenced by our lifestyle, by our environment, by the decisions that we make. We have all the genes for optimal health, just like we might also have some genes for other diseases, right? Inside the body, what we do, the choices we make, the environment that we raise our kids up in, that will decide what genes are expressed. Will the healthy genes be expressed, or will the unhealthy genes be expressed? This is actually a field of study. You can look it up. It's called epigenetics. Epigenetics means what genes are expressed in your body. If you have the gene for obesity, it does not mean that you will be obese. If you make healthier choice, it might be harder for you to maintain a certain weight than the average person, but if you make certain choices, those genes won't be able to be expressed. All right, so here's what determines what genes we express. Two things: toxicities and deficiencies. Are we toxic in something? And there's a ton of things that we could be toxic in. Or are our bodies deficient in something? If we're toxic in something, if we're deficient in something, then all those other genes, those bad genes, start getting expressed more. Number two, your child's body is intelligent. It is so amazingly intelligent that it will blow your mind when you start talking about it. I mean, think about how your child was developed. Two cells come together to form one cell. That one cell keeps multiplying and dividing and doubling and then doubling and then doubling, but not just doubling. That's amazing in itself that one cell can turn into two cells. But now this isn't just a clump of cells. It's the specific brain cells, heart cells, liver cells, muscle cells. All of these things happen. This baby develops inside mama's tummy over 270 days. And it's not like, I mean, the mom does it. Don't get me wrong. I got to give credit to all the moms out there. But it's not like you are in a corner going, okay, I got to put the heart here. I got to put the arm on. This is the left arm. We got to make sure we get it on the left side. No, thank goodness we don't have to design the baby like that. It's the intelligence inside of the body, and the same intelligence that took your baby from 2 cells to 70 trillion cells still lives inside of that kid, and still lives inside you and me both. Allows us to breathe, allows us our blood pumps every single day. We digest our food every day. We get a cut on our finger, it heals. That intelligence in your body is what determines health. And so we have to start nurturing and appreciating that amazing intelligence inside the body. Number 3, your kid's nervous system is their master system. So that intelligence we just talked about courses through your child's body through nerves. The brain constantly sends messages to tell your heart to beat, your lungs to breathe, your stomach to digest. All of those things that have to happen every single day, every second of the day, or you don't even make it through. That's controlled through the nervous system. And the spine around that nervous system, which houses that nervous system, we call it the suit of armor. So your child's nervous system is his master system. The spine around that nervous system is your child's suit of armor protecting that master system, making sure that those messages from your child's brain get to the body. That's what coordinates health and healing. And then number 5, we have to understand that modern life is just unnaturally stressful. So your child faces stress every day. When they go to school, they have stress. When they have homework, they have stress. Trust me, kids have a lot more stress today than they've ever had before. Technology is stressful on the human body. And so we realize that stress affects our body, it affects our nervous system. And we just said the nervous system was the master controlling system. So yes, if they're exposed to these stresses, it ends up dampening the body, the health of the body. It affects our natural development and our natural ability to fight off diseases. So this is what natural development should look like. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, it doesn't always. But let's say if you want to create a perfect baby, or not really a perfect baby, if you want to create a really healthy kid, then we have to start before conception, right? Ideally, the mom's healthy. Then through pregnancy, we take care of ourselves. Then the birth process is natural, right? We don't have all these drugs or medications. Then we breastfeed. Then we keep any types of toxins like vaccines, antibiotics, other toxins in our food. Those types of things we keep away from our kids. We don't give them medications when they have fever, or when they're teething, or when they're playing. We allow them to play in the dirt and get germs. Now, what I just said is the natural development of a child, but how many times is that really happening in today's society? Sometimes it can't, right? Sometimes some things happen during pregnancy, and we have to go into the hospital, and our babies are exposed to chemicals and drugs. Sometimes we can't breastfeed even though we want to, or there's toxins in everything nowadays that our babies are exposed to. I get it. So that's why we have to do certain things and take another step in order to keep our kids healthy. All right, so these are unnatural things. And so some of your children may have had these things happen to them. We have to be able to say this might be a reason why our immune system isn't as strong, or a child is underdeveloped in certain areas. If they had C-sections, formula fed, over sanitizing, early antibiotics, in a lot of vaccinations. I mean, that's just the truth, and that's something that we could do an entire workshop on. But hygiene hypothesis, right? It's like we don't want to disinfect everything. We want our bodies to be able to be exposed to germs. The first 3 years of a baby's life, that's that baby's immune system is in training, right? And so if we're dumping antibiotics in there, if we're over sterilizing everything, that immune system can't learn or grow, and it can't develop. So we have to take all these things into consideration. So let's say that we didn't have that perfect natural upbringing in childhood. And even if you did, here are 5 vital factors that affect your child's immune function that we can start paying attention to and start building stronger immune systems for our kids. Number 1, we want to pay attention to their diet. We want to decrease their toxicities. We want to increase the nutrition. Okay, we're going to talk about that in just a second. We want to start putting some more focus on their sleep patterns. Make sure they're getting enough sleep. Make sure that it's consistent. Make sure that they're not under too much stress, or doing everything that we can to limit stress in our child's life. Looking at their postures, just like that picture right there, we want to make sure that they're holding their chin up. They're looking up if they're in front of a screen. I understand you can't take away all the screens. We'll talk about this in just a second when we talk about backpacks as well. We're going to talk about how to properly pack a backpack and what a proper posture and backpack looks like. And then movement, helping our kid, making sure that they're out moving, that they're doing some different things, that they're getting enough vitamin D and sunshine, that they're getting enough stimulation and social interaction. And then also chiropractic, right? Neurological. We want to make sure that their spine's free of what we call subluxation. That's interference to the master system, making sure that their spine is in a good alignment and it's moving properly and they're checked and they're adjusted. Those things are things we can focus on to actually improve the health of our child's immune system, no matter where they're at. Let's start with nutrition. This is really what school lunches look like sometimes, right? I mean, completely deficient in nutrition, maybe even actually toxic in some form, in some locations, depending on what their lunches look like. We can start helping them by having them bring a lunch that's healthier to school, or making sure that the other meals, if they have to eat lunch at school, making sure that their other meals are even healthier to make up for it, like smoothies and fresh fruit and eggs and all the healthy stuff that we'll talk about in just a second in for breakfast, and then also for dinner. We can make breakfast a priority. We can pack their lunch, put leftovers in their lunch, right? Make sure that we do home cooked dinners, no sodas, because we got to limit their sugar. In fact, sugar can deplete their immune system. If your child's getting sick a lot, look and see how much sugar they're eating. That can really lower an immune system. Here are some supplements you might look into with your kiddos. Is probiotic, actually supplementing vitamin D for them, a fish oil, which is extremely healthy, multivitamin. Some of these things you can put in their smoothies and they never even know they're in there. Lorraine says kids today get more vaccines than kids 4 or 5 decades ago. Amen to that, Lorraine. So many more. In fact, I think the number is like 72 or 76 vaccines that they get as they're going through. It's ridiculous. And all of those, and unfortunately, all those vaccines have chemicals and different things in them. It's scary, it really is. So I know what you're thinking. It's like, yeah, that would be great if I could do that, right? Yeah, sure. Who has the time to do all these things and get up early and cook eggs for their child for breakfast, right? Lauren says, I was hypoglycemic as a child, so I was raised to be a sugar addict. Yeah, yep. We all were. I mean, a lot of us were. I know I was. I ate way too much sugar when I was growing up, way too much. So here are some examples of a healthy breakfast. Look, if you're in a hurry, get a smoothie, make a smoothie. And in fact, if you don't have time to cut the fruit and the vegetables up, put them in those little plastic Ziploc bags and put them in the refrigerator. And then in the morning, all you have to do, grab the bag, dump it in the blender, pour a little, water or coconut milk, whatever you want to use in there, zip it up, and then they got a nice, healthy, nutrient-rich smoothie for breakfast. Making a frittata or some kind of egg omelet or something, and then put it in the fridge and just warming it up in the morning, right? So many different options for a healthy breakfast, but let's make that a priority. Get some good nutrition in our kiddos. Here's some fun morning strategies that we can do with our kids. Of course, smoothies, right? And plus you can mix some nutrition and maybe even some plants and maybe even some supplements into your smoothies, and your kids never even know it. Get them moving before school. I'll show you some exercise in just a second. This morning, when Ryder got up to go to school, I did range of motion stretches with him. Did the spinal molding stretches. I told him, hey, dude, you're going to go to school. We got to get your brain activated. When your spine moves, it activates your brain. There was a Nobel Prize winner by the name of Roger Sperry, a neuroscientist, back in 1981. He won the Nobel Prize. He said that movement of the spine acts like a power to the brain, lights up areas of the brain, similar to a windmill sending power to a power plant. So if you get your child's spine moving in the morning, it's going to activate their brain. They're going to be able to think clearer throughout the day. So me and Ryder this morning, we did our range of motion exercises right after we ate breakfast. But you could have them doing trampoline, mattress, running, working out with you. Maybe have joke in the morning you can share with them. Laughter is always good. Slow down and enjoy them. Help them get rid of their worries and their stresses just by spending time with them. And we like to say we follow the 2-minute rule with our kids. I want them getting hugs and love the first 2 minutes that I see them in the morning, and the last 2 minutes that I put them to bed and I see them in the evening. They're getting hugs and they're getting love. And I think that's one of the best nutrients that you could give a child. I truly believe that. Let's talk about sleep, because especially for kids, they're growing. There's so many things going on in their body that they need sleep. In fact, you and I need sleep as well. Did you know that we release growth hormone when we sleep? You don't release it as much when you're awake, but when you're sleeping, your body releases growth hormone. What that does is it speeds up your cell division. You literally grow faster when you sleep. You heal faster when you sleep. So let's get our kids in a routine. That's one of the healthiest things that you can do for them. No screen time, at least the last 30 minutes before bed. That artificial light stimulates them, keeps them awake. So get them off those tablets, the TVs, the video games, and get them calming down. And then in their rooms at night, the darker we can get it, the better. I understand some kids want a night light. I get it, but it's better if maybe the night light is out in the hall, so that they can make their way to the bathroom. But in their room, we want it darker. They sleep. Research shows you sleep better when it's dark. Now, also, this is the money time. Make sure that your child is asleep between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Now, I know who's going to keep their kid up past 2 a.m., right? But this is the money time when the body heals the most. We get into our deepest sleep. We get the most healing is during 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So make sure that bedtime's like 9:30. We want them sleeping in between those hours of 10 p.m. 2 a.m. to keep them healthy. Lorraine says, get a red nightlight. Oh, good idea. I like that. I really do. That's a great idea, Lorraine. Thank you for sharing that. Get a red nightlight, and that helps calm that body down even more. It's kind of like not having a nightlight to the body. Animals are like that too. I know when uh, hogs or deer, a lot of times they'll have red lights over the feeders, and it just keeps them calm. They don't even notice them. Yeah, so this quote, a good laugh and a long sleep are the two best cures for anything. I believe it. Is the money time daylight time or standard time? I think it's just whatever time you're on is it's like if I'm on Central Time, then it's my 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Like in general, I'm sure maybe a little before, a little after that, but in general, those are the hours where we're going to get the most impact with our sleep. So no matter what time zone you're in, it's your 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. If that makes sense. Stress is a big deal. Look, your kids are under a lot of stress, more than we probably I know we're under stress too. I mean, we're adults and we're under a lot of stress, and we're like, wish I was a kid again. Back then, we didn't have any stress. I know you feel like that sometimes, but they really are. I mean, teachers, friends, sports, appearance, grades, schedule, popularity. This is the reason why kids are under so much stress in today's day and age. This is the reason why more kids are taking antidepressant drugs, stimulants, ADHD drugs, all these things. And really what we want to do is focus on the things that help them deal with stress that are non-pharmacological, right? So the non-drugs. Let's help them deal with stress with getting them moving, getting them exercising, getting them to the chiropractor, getting them adjusted, spending time with them, sitting down with them, and really talking with them and understanding what they're going through and helping them through it. Those are the ways, getting them good sleep. Those are the ways we want to help them deal with stress, not medication if we can keep from it, right? Here's some of the benefits of movement. Helps your kid's body eliminate waste and toxins, increases our circulation. So white blood cells are more effective moving interstitial fluid. And so white blood cells are part of your immune system. If you're moving, your kid's moving, their immune system will literally be stronger and healthier. It helps increase lymph flow. It helps reduce stress hormone production. Kids are supposed to move before they start morning. Before they start learning. That's why we do a little stretch, range of motion stretch and movement in the morning before they actually get to school. Disease harbors in stagnant tissues. When you get those tissues moving, it decreases the amount or the ability for disease to be able to set in. Did you know that backpacks, let's talk about posture, right? Posture is the window to the spine. Did you know that backpacks cause 7,800 injuries a year? 10 to 15%. That's what your backpack should weigh. 10 to 15% of your child's body weight. Ryder's a pretty big boy. I think he weighs about 130 pounds. So his backpack shouldn't weigh more than like 13 pounds. And that seems like a lot to me. Um, 2 shoulder straps. You want those kids to put 2 shoulder straps, both of them on. Don't let them just hang that over one shoulder all the time. Tighten those shoulder straps down so that the backpack is close to the body. When you pack the backpack, you want heavier items closest to the child's back and the lightest items to the front of the backpack. That's how you want them to pack their bag. It should be the length of your child's torso. Look for red marks on your child's shoulder, and that's a sign that the backpack is too heavy and it's not set up properly. And make sure that every week you're reminding your child to clean the junk out of their backpack, because by the end of the year that thing just adds up. It gets heavier and heavier and heavier, and it affects your child's spine and nervous system. And look, we're seeing more of this than we've ever seen before. Tech neck syndrome. This can lead to severe headaches, back pain, neck pain, developmental disorders, degenerative disc disease, and more. We actually call this, it's happening so often in our kids, we call this digital dementia. This is why children need chiropractic in today's day and age, is because we have so much technology, so much poor posture on them. That's why everyone needs chiropractic in today's day and age, and spinal hygiene. So in dentistry, presented us and gifted us dental hygiene back in the early 1900s, whenever industrialization brought all kinds of sugar into our diet and teeth started decaying and rotting at younger ages. So dentists said, hey, here's a way to take care of your teeth so we can prevent degeneration of the teeth. Well, spinal hygiene that we're going to talk about in just a second will help your child's spine stay healthy and decrease and prevent degeneration of spine. We're starting to see in our office decay and degeneration in teenagers. It takes anywhere from 5 to 15 years for disc height to lose disc height in the spine. And we're seeing by age 15, that kids are already having loss of disc height in their spine. That means that their spine has been under stress since they were 5 years old or before that, in order for them to have those levels of decay in their spine. That's why we say look up. We want look up America. We want you to, when you're on a computer, because we understand you can't just take the computers away from children. Sometimes it's the computers are actually assigned to the kids in school nowadays. They have to have a computer. They have to be on it. So I get that. But what we can do is we can improve the health of their spine through chiropractic, through spinal hygiene exercises, and we can teach them proper posture whenever they're having to be in front of this technology. So it's time for a posture break. Let's talk about spinal range of motion. These are my kiddos, Jace and Jaden. They learned at a young age how to do their spinal hygiene exercises. It's not hard, and once your children learn it, they can do a posture break anytime they want to, and they can do their spinal range of motion exercises at school. Let's say they have 5-10 minutes between classes, and maybe they're feeling tight, they've been sitting for a long time. They can do their spinal range of motion exercises even at school. But this is what me and Ryder did this morning before he went off to school. All you do is you're going to bend your spine in 3 planes of motion. Your spine bends forward and back. That's one plane. It bends to the left and to the right, or side to side. That's 2 planes. And it rotates. It bends to the left and right. That's 3 planes of motion. So you can see my wife, Dr. Gina, here giving an example of how to do the range of motion stretch. You just bend forward and touch your toes, or like you're going to touch your toes, just bend forward, let your body hang down for 10 seconds. And this morning, me and Ryder counted to 10 while we were doing this. You have to count to 10. Just doing these quick stretches doesn't count. It needs to be intentional. You need to count it out loud. 1001, 1002, all the way to 10. So we're bending forward, we're holding. We're bending back, looking up, holding for 10 seconds. Sliding your left hand down your leg to touching your left knee, holding that for 10 seconds. Sliding your right hand down your leg to touching your right knee, holding that for 10 seconds. Putting your hands together in front of you, turning to the left, holding for 10 seconds. Putting your hands together, turning to the right, holding for 10 seconds. See how we did that? And we didn't hold for 10 seconds, but that's intentional. Not just this, oh yeah, no, I stretched a little bit. That doesn't count. has to be intentional to be able to get the benefits from this stretch. But your child should do it in the morning to get their spine moving before they start learning, and they could do it if they want to throughout the day as well. And then you as a parent, you can do your own posture analysis on your child. In fact, I recommend this. We're seeing more and more young girls with scoliosis, and we see some boys too, but definitely more girls. And in fact, to the point where in my office now, I'm going to implement a straight rule across the board. If you're 10 years old, you need to get an x-ray checkup. And especially, and we're just going to do boys or girls, but you need to get an x-ray to make sure that there's no scoliosis. And it's hard to tell, even with scoliosis checks, even when we're adjusting kiddos, they could have a 10, 15-degree curve, maybe even more than that. And it's really hard to tell unless you take an x-ray. So sometimes you can see it in their posture. When you have your child stand looking straight ahead, feet shoulder width apart, arms to the side, looking straight ahead, you should see that both shoulders are even. When you're looking straight at them, their head is in the center of their shoulders. And then when you're looking at their side, like this lady in this picture, when you're looking at their side, you should see that the ear is over the shoulder, shoulders over the hips are over the knees are over the ankles. So it's a line that goes straight up. If you're seeing deviations and abnormal postures, get your kid to the chiropractor, get them checked, and get them adjusted, see if there's curvature, see if there's scoliosis. More and more we're finding scoliosis after the fact, because there wasn't an x-ray when a child was around the ages of 8 to 10 years old to see if that was the beginning. And it's much better if we can get treatment on there faster. The sooner we get it, the better, as we start checking and adjusting some of those shifts and alignments to keep their spine healthy. Because kids, when their spine shifts out of alignment, they don't automatically just have the things that we have. This is called subluxation in the spine. You've heard me mention this before. When your spine shifts out of alignment, for adults, a lot of times that subluxation causes headaches. We go to the chiropractor. Maybe it causes neck pain. You go to the chiropractor. It causes lower back pain. Well, kids don't have neck pain, back pain, and headaches as much. In fact, sometimes they don't even know how to express what that is. And so what they end up having is ear infections, asthma, constipation, bedwetting. Now, some of them do actually have headaches. We had kids with that. Leg cramps, growing pains, right? We can adjust the joints, and a lot of times a growing pain is a joint that's tight and fixated, so your body's trying to grow, but that joint is stuck. And when we adjust those areas and get those joints moving properly, they don't hurt anymore. Just wellness, allergies, skin conditions, those types of things. Great reasons to go to a chiropractor. And here's the ultimate, I'd say, well, we call it the Chiro Big Five, but here's what I want parents to understand. Look, your child's body, just like yours, is self-healing and self-regulating. That means your heart beats, your lung breathe, your stomach digests, your immune system, it attacks the invaders and it kills them. It helps keep you from having diseases. You get a cut on your finger, it heals. All of these things are proof that your body is self-healing and self-regulating. Your nervous system controls that intelligence. Your nervous system is the pathway that intelligence flows through, right? It's the master controller of the body. And when there's an interference to that nervous system, the body can no longer heal and regulate properly. So then it becomes, it malfunctions. There becomes dis-ease in your body. Your body's no longer at ease whenever there's interference there. So those misalignments within your spine or within your child's spine, those subluxations, they cause interference to the nervous system, the master system of your body, the master system of your child's body. So chiropractors work to remove this interference by adjusting the spine and removing the subluxation, the thing that is actually interfering with this master system of the body. This is an area of health, a concept that you will not find in mainstream medicine. It is lacking. In fact, if you look at our documentary, and you can watch our documentary if you're just joining us in that green button that you're seeing on the screen, that's my office website, but you can actually watch the documentary for free as well. and it will show you there is a gaping hole in our healthcare system right here. It doesn't talk about the nervous system. It doesn't help you understand that this is important. If the mainstream medical system finds disease, they don't even look to the spine for the cause of that disease when it very well could be coming from interference in your nervous system. So you have to have a chiropractor on your health team that can help you keep your spine and nervous system healthy. Because if you have subluxations, what are they? Well, they're joint misalignments. They could cause soft tissue damage. There could be inflammation or pain around the area, nerve irritation, muscle spasms, loss of movement, fixation in the joint. So you feel tight and tense all the time. And then what that leads to long term is degeneration and decay of the spine, or what we call degenerative disc disease. If a subluxation stays in a joint for a long period of time, we start developing degenerative disc disease. And by the way, we talked about your child being on screens and cell phones. Look at this. I copied and pasted this directly out of the CDC's website. It says the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, reports that children ages 8 to 10 spend an average of 6 hours per day in front of a screen. 6 hours. Kids ages 11 to 14 spend an average of 9 hours per day in front of a screen. And youth ages 15 to 18 spend an average of 7.5 hours per day in front of a screen. So no wonder these stressful postures are causing subluxation or interference to our body, to our spine, and to our nervous system. Not to mention all the other things that our child does, right? Slips, falls, jungle gyms, sleeps crazy in weird positions. And so all of these micro traumas add up and they affect your child's nervous system. All right, so hopefully this is making some sense. You can see that yes, nutrition's important, movement is important, sleep is important. All of those things we need to be focused on, but your child's spine and nervous system is so important as well. And we see that children who get checked and adjusted, they do better. They're healthier. Our kids are almost never sick, and it's not because we have perfect nutrition. It's not because they get perfect sleep at night. It's just their spine and their nervous system is free of interference. Let me give you some examples, some success stories of little kids, babies, children in our office. This is one of my favorite ones. I share this picture because the parents, they brought their baby in. You can see how little this one is, probably like just a couple months old maybe. And they said that she's not going to the bathroom. Right? They were like, she's constipated. She might have a bowel movement like once a week, and she's crying, and we know that her tummy's distended and hurting, just constipated, colic, all of these different types of things. And so we did one adjustment on this little baby, and I got my phone, and they had texted me. And if you can't read this, they took a picture of the blowout that their baby had right after the adjustment, and they said, "Thanks a lot, Dr. Tabor," and drew an arrow down to the blowout that their baby had, because we were able to adjust, not only just adjust the spine, which actually stimulated smooth muscle of the tummy, but actually do a little bit of massage on the tummy that got that smooth muscle moving and helped baby have a big bowel movement. Now she's completely regular, doing awesome. Colic and constipation are two things we help babies with all the time. We've been through the ICPA, the International Chiropractic Pediatric Association, trained in adjusting babies. And adjustment for babies it's so different than adjustment for adults. For kids, it's different. We're very gentle, very easy. For babies, we don't have to do any thrusts or anything. We just put our fingers on there, just a little pressure. It's like if you're in the grocery store and you're testing ripe tomatoes, you're pushing that tomato skin. That's like the pressure we put on a baby's spine when we're adjusting them. Let me tell you another story. This is little Ethan. If you go to the link that we have underneath here, you go to our website and watch A Better Way. And we tell Ethan's story. When Ethan was a baby, he was having a lot of seizures. They tried putting him on seizure medication, and it was terrible. He was just not himself. He was lethargic. He was out of it when he was on these seizure medications. And so, gosh, what's a parent do? Because you don't want your baby to have seizures, but man, they're just miserable and they're not themselves when they're on the seizure medication. Well, Ethan started getting adjusted, And oh my goodness, he's doing amazing now. This is little Ethan right here. No more seizures, completely off all medications, thriving, smartest little kid. I mean, he's just a thrill to be around. So cute. And by the way, just check out the movie, watch the movie, if just to listen and see Ethan's story, because it's in that documentary. And then the last success story I'm going to tell you, this is my kid. I don't know if many of you knew, but my youngest, Jaden, had open heart surgery when he was 1. He was born with some heart defects, and they had to do a total rebuild and correction of his heart. And I'm telling you, he was adjusted as he was a baby. It helped him with those conditions he had after this surgery. And I thank God for medical doctors. I never speak bad about medicine or medical doctors, because there are times when it's necessary. Okay, I totally get it. Totally get it. Sometimes it's necessary to take a medication. Sometimes it's necessary to have a surgery, and thank God for those brilliant medical doctors that do those things, right? We love them. We need them. But now, after that surgery, I still wanted to help my child's body, nurture it, give it nutrition, help it, adjust it, keep that nervous system free, keep it moving. And man, he's been thriving. He's doing amazing. These are the twins, my twins there on the left side of your screen, Jason, Jaden. There they are on the right side of the screen with me and Dr. Gina. They're thriving. They're doing, in fact, tomorrow we have another checkup for Jaden. He's doing great. He's 9 years old now, and he's going to keep doing great. And we're going to keep, utilizing the medical system where we need it, but also not depending on it for building health in our children. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this workshop. I know it's a little bit different than a lot of workshops. We're not just talking about diet. We're not just talking about medicine or even supplements, right? And so we're talking about doing the things, getting back to the root, getting back to the core of what health really is. The definition of health is the optimal functioning of the body. So if we want to really improve the health of our children, want to improve the health of ourselves, what we need to do is we need to look at what can we do to improve the function of the body. When you start putting better nutrition in your body, you're improving the function. When you remove the toxins, you're improving the function. When you get adjusted and you're removing the interference from the master system, the nervous system, you're improving the function of the body. And that's what we talked about today. All the things you can do for yourself and for your kids and for your family to improve the function of your body. If you're not sure if chiropractic can help you or your kiddo, I encourage you, give us a call or go to our website, schedule a free 15-minute consultation. Would love to talk with you and see if we can help you. Our website, again, is betterwaychiropractic.com, or you can click the green button on the screen if you're watching live or on the replay. Our phone number is 281-664-2250 if you're in the Northwest Houston area. And even if you're not in the Northwest Houston area, if you're looking for a good chiropractor, I know a lot of chiropractors around the country. So maybe I know one, or someone that I know knows one in your area. So feel free to email me at drtabor@live.com with your zip code. I will do my best to find a good office in your area. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being on tonight. I appreciate you. Always enjoy these workshops. And I think next month's workshop is on headaches, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll post that here pretty soon. We've been doing a workshop every month, and I thank you all for being on them. I really appreciate you. Y'all have a wonderful night. Oh, Lauren says, would rotation be better performed sitting down? You could perform rotation in the extra. I'm sorry, Lorraine, I didn't see your question. I'm sorry to get to it so late. You could definitely do rotation sitting down. We do it standing up, though. I think it could be done either way. But good question. I think you could do all these sitting down, Lorraine. And in fact, thank you for bringing that up, because you could do this for the lower back, and then you could also do it for the neck, forward and back, side to side, and rotation. You could do it for both at the same time, or you could separate low back and then do the neck. Nelly, thank you. Thank you for being on. I appreciate it. Everybody have a wonderful night. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.